There's a little bit of a controversy going on in a Colorado school over a 6-year-old named Hunter Yelton that has been suspended from his school for sexual harassment. So you want to know what Hunter Yelton actually did to earn that suspension? He kissed a fellow student on the hand.
Oh, dear God.
And according to the school's zero-tolerance sexual harassment policies, that is an absolute no-no. And that, of course, he can get that he got suspended, and this incident has been put on his permanent record. Now, to be fair, the student, this isn't the first time that he's done this. Apparently, the girl in question, he says, is apparently his girlfriend, which is kind of adorable, really, when you think about it. That he had previously kissed her on the cheek as well. And so, but nonetheless, he's gotten in trouble both times. You know, and it just seems like it's a little bit over the top when you think about it, these zero tolerance kind of laws, because I understand why they're in place, but I think this is a little bit over the edge. What do you guys think?
Chicks dig the bad boy. He got in trouble once, and like she went right back to him. I blame the girl in this case.
Like, for me, I just think it's just way overboard. Like, if it happened the first few times, just set the kid aside and have a talk. And then if it happens again, then yeah, I'll maybe do some punishment. But this is just boys being boys. They just went way overboard, in my opinion, on the suspension.
Right. You know, this is like regular kid stuff. You know what I mean? And this is and there's actually somebody here that says that this should be a teachable moment. Actually, somebody named Mrs. Burkauer. Now, Mrs. Burkauer is Feather Burkauer is a founder of a website, Parenting Safe Children, and she says, "Look, the school should look for a teachable moment in this, helping the kids to understand what age-appropriate sexual behavior is." And I absolutely agree with that. I think this could be used as a moment to teach the kids. This is what's should be permitted. This is what's not. And this is what age-appropriate behavior is. So don't do that. That's not welcome.
Don't
but
agree.
Suspending them, terrible idea. Terrible idea.
I don't agree.
I know this goes into just zero tolerance rules in general. It doesn't allow for any like common sense or practical judgment. It's
Right.
regardless of the situation. Oh, we're going to do a suspension. There's no room for judgment, no room for looking at the facts. It's just suspension. It's
Immediate.
See, I actually disagree with both sides on this. The kid should not have been suspended. It's not a teachable moment. He's a 6-year-old. Leave it alone. Like this is like a non-issue. Oh, he kissed her on the hand. Like most people would say, "Aw."
That's adorable.
Right?
It's cute.
Like I don't want to teach the kid about sexual harassment based on that. Here's what appropriate contact is. Like he's a 6-year-old. Just let him go. Like it's not the rule needs zero tolerance is stupid. The rule is not intended for that purpose. Like it's not intended for 6-year-olds. And there's other cases of like a kid who he'll poke a girl, right? But then he pokes her a little low and all of a sudden that's sexual harassment. I'm like, what? Like poke sounds like such a dirty word, by the way, but like you get what I mean. It's ridiculous. Like these kids, like they can't even spell sexual harassment, like let alone define it.
Right, and they have no idea what it is and what they're doing, and that's why I say it should be a teachable moment, because they have no idea that what they're doing is wrong or irresponsible or whatever. But according to Nadine Block, and she's a child psychologist and author, and she says zero tolerance policies in schools have not been shown to work. So they're doing this stuff. It doesn't even work. She says this is just another example of going overboard on rules in schools that need to be more flexible. Right. Schools should be looking for ways to teach appropriate behavior instead. Once again, going to the teachable moment. Like, hey, you shouldn't do this because it's just wrong. These zero tolerance policies, I mean, we've had discussions on these before, and where so many of these are just absolutely overboard.
Right.
In fact, somebody, Kelly Welch, she's an associate professor of sociology and criminology. She says that these policies are often used in a response to many less serious acts of student misconduct and have only served to increase control mechanisms that have dire outcomes for students.
And the thing is these zero tolerance policies are actually great for the people enforcing them, right? Because the teachers union doesn't like judgment calls, right? In general, I'm not just blaming them, but they don't like judgment calls because they don't want you to be able to fire a teacher. Their job is to protect the teachers, so they don't like for you to question their judgment. So they like to take judgment out of the equation. Administration doesn't like judgment calls, and people love to panic. Like we see this after every like shooting. We see like 8 different kids who drew a gun, brought a GI Joe to school. Like all of them get suspended. We all seen the chicken finger one if you watch Michael Moore's movie, where the little like 8-year-old points a chicken finger at his friend and says "Bang, you're dead," and like the fucking school goes on lockdown and they suspend him. Like the zero tolerance benefits it benefits the people working at the school. It doesn't teach the kids anything, and it doesn't benefit any of the kids.
And it always goes back to just overreaction in general, is really what you're getting at. Because we see overreaction all the time, everywhere. On every single issue, Americans, in general, like we're like a nation of overreactors. Like something happens and we're like, oh my god! Like we get a terrorist attack, right? And then we end up destroying 2 other countries because of it.
There was a kid who got suspended for a creative writing assignment because he wrote about how zombies took over his school and him and his best friend shot their way out of the school, right? And he got suspended for that.
I've had dreams like that.
I know, but like he got suspended because he wrote about guns and school, and like the context makes no difference. Like that is the idiocy of zero tolerance.
It's crazy in a society. We've gone to a point where on every single issue, we got to go to the extreme. We can't look at a situation, look at the facts, and make watchful assessments from it. It's like, oh, let's just not bother to actually do our jobs, actually look at the situation in these schools. It's like, oh my god, you talked about guns and zombies? Oh, detention, expelled. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you? We're not going to look at the context, but how dare you write about anything violent or anything, even if you're using your imagination? Because if you do, we're going to immediately flip our shit, go crazy, and go to the absolute extreme. Like, where is there a place for moderate, moderation here in America now, or do we just automatically default to extreme?
And the thing is,
like to me, we do.
Is I feel bad. I feel bad for these kids because, like, a 6-year-old is not sexual, right? Like, I mean, only to the Catholic Church is a 6-year-old sexual. So,
ouch.
That's right. I'm looking at you, Pope. Man of the year, better fix that. But no. Like the 6-year-old is not sexual, so it's a rule that's put in place for the junior high school, maybe like the older elementary school children, hopefully not, but maybe for them.
And it makes a little bit more sense in that context.
Yeah, because you don't want kids making out in like the middle of high school, right? Like I get that,
but of course.
But it's just applied there, and I feel bad because all these zero tolerance policies, like if you're like 6 or 8, like you don't understand. Like, have you ever told a 6-year-old to keep something a secret, and then have somebody ask them a direct question, and they're gonna automatically like explain, spoil it? Of
course.
Like you have like 6-year-olds, like they play video games, right? And in the video games, you're shooting, stepping on people, or whatever. Then they go to school, and if they talk about the video games, or bring the video game, or draw something about the video game that involves a gun, then they get suspended. Zero tolerance policy. Like, you see, like, kids holding hands, right? You're supposed to hold your mom's hand when you cross the street. You're supposed to always hold hands. You hold hands in school, you get suspended. Like, if I'm a kid, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And, like, I think this is designed to train us for, like, stupid rules, like, at the airport. When you get older, you can't have more than 3 ounces of liquid.
You must remove your shoes.
You must remove your shoes. A guy had a sock puppet monkey with a little gun attached to it. And the TSA The TSA literally cut the gun off the monkey and confiscated the freaking cotton gun. Like,
It's absurd. It's absurd.
It's insane.
It's like we gotta let kids in this country be kids. We gotta let them make mistakes. We gotta let them, learn what it's like to be a kid and learn of those lessons. As adults, they can apply those lessons to their life. And you don't do that by every time, oh, he kisses her in the hand. Oh my God, what the fuck did you do? It's like you gotta let kids be kids. We all have we that happened to us. We turned out fine. If you let kids be kids, you let them know when you've done something wrong. Talk to them and teach them, hey, this was wrong, but let's not do this again in the future. Then I think that's the best way to go.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Please leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and share with your friends. If you want to see more, go to our channel at youtube.com/TYTNation. And if you really want to support the show, support this channel, go to our fundraising campaign at www.patreon.com/TYTNation. The website is in the description below. Thank you guys, and keep watching.